In this video, we're going to be building a simple Next.js CRUD application with React Server Components, Vercel Postgres, and just pure SQL. And the focus of this tutorial is mainly to cover the basics of SQL, not necessarily to build a full stack application. So I'm going to be kind of focusing on those parts, but I'll touch some of the other aspects of this app, such as React Server Components. And I'll just be using some default shadcn UI components to build this. But I will give a link to the GitHub repository so anyone can either follow along or look at the code themselves to check it out more. But let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to give a quick kind of walkthrough of the repository that I'm going to be using. It's one that I just kind of set up and scaffold with the create next latest npx command. And it's essentially just a very simple application. Right now I only have the homepage route set up, but I have shadcn UI configured and then just some layout things. We have Sonar Toast configured so that we can use that later, like a header component, and that's basically it. As far as React Server Components go, I created these two helper functions that we're going to use to wrap our server action functions so that we can just easily add in the toast notifications without any additional boilerplate on every single route that we create. And so basically this function got Copilot to write this docstring for it, but essentially it's this function that takes a server action as a function parameter and then returns a function that we can call that basically just executes the server action and then will log the results, and it will return an error if there's an error, and then the success message if it was a success. So we're going to be using this. It's pretty simple. It just kind of returns a promise that resolves to either an object with an error as a string or just undefined. I'm just using this for this video. Later on, I'm going to make another video about making these server actions safer with Next Safe Action. It's a library that's been picking up a lot of momentum that helps you to create safer server actions with React Server Components and Next.js. So we'll be using that, and I won't be using this, but this is just a simple thing that we're going to use for this demo. And then this is a function to just get the error message, basically just a type safe way to get an error message. I saw a video from this guy, BikeRad, on YouTube, and I can't remember the exact video, but this is where I actually got the code from. And it essentially just retrieves an error message from an error object, which is of type unknown, and it just kind of safely parses it into the message and then returns the message. It's made by BikeRad on YouTube. I put a link in the docstring here to his YouTube channel, but props to him, and you can check that out later. And that's basically it. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to start out by just in the lib creating a new file, and it's actually going to be a SQL file. This is not going to run within the application. I'm just kind of putting it here so that we can use it. And this is going to be the schema of our tables. And we're just going to write this in pure SQL. So to create a table with SQL, we use the create command, create table, and we'll do if not exists, and we're going to say topic. So I also failed to mention, I should have talked about it before, but the application that we're going to be building is a simple note-taking app where you can first create a topic, and a topic is just an object that's going to be an organizing model for the notes. So a topic can have many notes inside of it, and then within each note, there's the option of adding comments to the note. So there's three main database models, which I'll kind of add as a comment here. We have topic, and then we have notes, and then we have comments. And then we'll get into the relationships between these. It's actually really simple. A topic can have many notes, and then notes can have many comments, but a comment can only be associated with one note, but a note can have many comments. And so that just kind of makes sense as far as hierarchy of these models, but we'll represent that within the actual create table statements. So first we want an ID. I'm going to create this as just an auto incrementing key, which is you can do by just adding serial in SQL. I am not going to use UUID for this. That's sometimes something that people do, or they use CUID, but basically we just need a unique ID for each row in this table, and we're going to be doing that by using an auto incrementing ID. So it'll start at 1 and then just go to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. We're just going to add a name to this, which is pretty simple, and it's just going to be of type text. I'm just going to use text for now. We could use like varchar, which is like variable character length, and we can set the length of what it's going to be. Just for sake of simplicity, I'm going to use text. And then we're also going to add 2 attributes to every single table, which is going to be the created at and then the updated at. And this is just going to help us keep things consistent in our database by having an attribute that says when the object was created and then when it was updated. Perfect. So that's the topic. Now we're going to add a table, and it's going to be called note. And in the note, we're going to actually have the ID as well. Same thing, auto incrementing. We're going to have a title, and it's going to be type text, not null. And we're also going to have the content of the note. It's going to be text, also not null. And then we want these two, like we said, to be added to every single table. But then the unique thing about this that we're going to add is within here, we're actually going to add the topic ID. And what this is going to do is it's going to help us to tie back the note to its respective topic. And so basically it's just a foreign key, but we're just adding the topic ID that it's associated with, because then if we have it, we can reference the topic table with its ID and then know that it's associated with it. So we're going to reference topic, and then ID is the column that we're going to be referencing. And then we're going to set an onDelete cascade. And essentially what that does is it means that anytime a topic, so like basically you can think of it kind of like its parent object, but it's anytime a topic is deleted, right? So the object that it's referencing is deleted, it will cascade down the line. So essentially what that means is if a topic gets deleted, then a note will get deleted as well. And all notes within that topic will get deleted. And so we will say that, and then let's also add on update. We'll just do no action. And basically that says when we updated a topic, then it's not going to do anything to the notes. We just want the notes to stay the same. Okay, awesome. Now we're going to add one more table. And that table is going to be a comment. And within the comment, we're going to add an ID as well. Let's actually just copy all of this. But instead of name, it's just going to be the content of the comment. And then we're also going to add a reference, but instead of referencing the topic directly, because a topic will not have comments on it, we're going to be adding a reference to a note. And then we'll just change what model it's referencing, just like that. Perfect. So this is all of the schema that we need for this. We're not going to be adding any user authentication. We're just simply adding these three models, and then we will migrate this to our database. So there's many ways that we can migrate it to the database. We could write a script that connects to the remote database and then runs the SQL command on the database, or what we're going to do is we're going to be using Vercel Postgres. And so I'm just going to create a database within the console. And then once I create it, I'm just going to copy all of this, and then I'll just paste it in the console on Vercel Postgres, and then we'll create these tables. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so I created a new project within Vercel for this specific repository, and then I created a Vercel Postgres instance that's associated with it. And what I'm going to do is copy these environment variables, and then I'm going to create an env.local in my repository locally, and then I will paste them in, and then we'll be able to connect to the database from our application. So I'm going to go ahead and do that before I run a command in the console. Okay, as you can see, I created a .env.local file in the root of my repository of my project. So now I'm going to go back to the Vercel dashboard and then click on this data tab and then click query. And then we're going to go back to here, select all of the schema that we wrote, and then I'm just going to paste it into here. Interesting. So it looks like it ran. It has a syntax error, but if we go to browse, it has our schema, which is interesting. Kind of an interesting bug, but looks like it worked. So we'll just keep running with it. So now we'll go back to our repository or our project, and I'm going to close the SQL file out. And then let's go ahead and get started on building the application. So in the app, we have it running locally on localhost 3000. And I have this form to create a topic. And so let's go ahead and fill this out and create an action to insert a topic into our database. So as far as the structure of this project goes, what I like to do is I like to create a data folder in my lib directory that has a file for each of the models of the database. So I have one for comments, one for notes, one for topics, and then inside of this I like to write the functions that will be basically our server actions that we'll be using to do all the CRUD actions to create, to read, to update, and destroy each of these respective database models. And so that's kind of how I'll be using these within this project. And so we'll start by creating some CRUD action server actions using Vercel Postgres. But first, I think what we need to do is actually install Vercel Postgres. And so I will go and copy this, go to my terminal, and I'll do pnpm add Vercel Postgres. Okay, that's added. And then this is how we'll use it. We'll just import SQL from Vercel Postgres. So I'm going to go back to the project, and let's start with the topics. So I'm going to go ahead and import that after the directive for use server. And then, so let's go ahead and write a action with SQL to insert a topic into our database. And so basically the way we'll do that is we'll follow the docs that are in the Vercel Postgres, their docs. So essentially what we're going to do is use this SQL command, the SQL function with these, the backticks to write just SQL, and then we can use basically template literals to insert a value that we want to put in here that we're going to pass in. And so let's go ahead and do that. So to create a, let's go to schema. To create a topic, all we need really is the name. And then we will just use the default now function from SQL for the created at and the updated at attributes. And so let's go ahead and do that. Let's do export async function create topic. And what this is going to take as a parameter is it's just going to take a name, which is of type string, and then we will insert it in. So we'll do it in wait SQL, and then we will say, let's go new line here so that it's just easier to read. And the way that you create something with just pure SQL is using the insert function. So insert, and you say into, and then we would say the name of the table, which is topic in this case. And then you basically pass in this basically like a tuple. I don't know if that's the right word for it, but these arguments of what columns we're going to be inserting into this. And so we're going to be adding, I think it's actually called updated at. Yeah. Updated at. So we're going to insert into the topic name, created at, and updated at. And then we'll say specify the values, which are going to be the, actually don't think we need those. We'll see. We're going to pass in the name, and then we're just going to use now and now, just like that. And then we will close that off with a semicolon. And so that will be what we're going to use to insert the value into the database, which is pretty easy. So let's go ahead and hook that up and then see how it goes. So let's just go ahead and go to our page. We've got our demo card. Let's do this. I'm going to go ahead and create a new route, and it's going to be called topics. And I'll just copy this, but let's change this demo card, and then let's just call it the createform.tsx. Whoops. Undo. And I'm just going to add it in this specific folder for the route right now. If we wanted to, we could come back and refactor and clean up later, but I don't think it's necessary for this. We're going to paste in the code for it. And then let's do create form. So create a topic for your notes. Perfect. And let's import the server action that we're going to be using. So it's called create topic. Perfect. We're importing it from data/topics. And then we're going to do import create client action, which is the helper function that we're going to be using to manage some of the toast notifications. And then in here, we have a form already set up. We'll do action in here, but we need to create the action. So basically, we are going to pass in, let's see here. We'll just call it create. Create topic. And it looks like it is not the right type because we are accepting name, that's right, and not form data. And so what we should do is actually in the topics, we're not going to be accepting this, we're going to be accepting form data, which is of this type. And then we will essentially parse this to get the name. And so we'll do it like this. Okay, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to be using Zod to create a schema for the form data that we're expecting, and then we will use that form data schema to parse the incoming form data and then get the correct values out of it. And so this is what that looks like. We're going to be using Zod. So we're going to import Z from Zod. We're going to create a topic schema, which in our case is really just the name that we're receiving the value for. And then we will, inside of the create topic function, we will safely parse the name from the form, and then we will insert that into the SQL statement. And then as you'll see that we're still getting this error, and it's because right now our function, it returns a promise that resolves the void. It's not returning anything really. And so what we need to do is return a promise that resolves to this format. So basically an object that has an attribute of error that is a string or undefined. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to do that by basically just adding in a try catch statement here. And so I'm just going to go ahead and wrap this all in a try catch. So we'll insert that into a try catch, catch error, and it's going to be a type unknown. And then inside of here, what we're going to do is we're going to return an object with the error attribute, and then we're going to use that get error message function that we created that I showed you to pass in the error, and then we will return it basically as a string. So this turns the error of type unknown into a string that we can then use on our form to be able to render the error message as a toast notification if something doesn't work. So that's what we'll do there. And then what we're actually going to do inside of this is we're going to import revalidate path from Next.js. And what we're going to do is after we insert that, we're going to revalidate the path of topics. And the reason why is because we want the new topic to show up for the user to be able to see and interact with. And then here we have create now, which is this new action that we have created from using our function create client action. And then we're going to pass that in here as the action. And we have the input with the ID name. And I think that should do it, but I'm just going to add name of the input as well to name. And then this should do it. So now when we import this, we will import this in our topics page instead of demo card import create form. Boom, create form. And then what we're also going to do is we're going to create a simple card. Let's look at the docs for shadcn. This one is perfect. We will create, let's create a new component for it actually, and it'll be called topic card.tsx. So we'll just do default function topic card. This will take in some props, but first let's just go ahead and return this and then import. Boom. We will show, let's just pass in basically pass in everything, right, that we have. We want name, created at, and updated at. And let's get the ID too, why not? So we'll just do that. And then I think this is actually going to be a number. Created at is going to be of type date, and same with updated at, I believe. Could be wrong about this. And then for the title, we'll just pass in the ID, card description, name, why not? Created at. Nice, and we'll use this then here. So we will add in the card, so topic card. And actually, before we do this, we're going to need to create another server action to fetch the data for all of the cards. And basically, what we'll do is we'll make this an async function, and we will actually be able to fetch the all of the topics within this component and then render them in the UI using that topic card. So I'll just add a little thing here saying insert topic card, and then let's go ahead and create that server action. So we'll just export an async function, get topics, and we're going to get all of them, so we don't really need to pass in any parameters to the function. And what we're going to be doing is using the select statement in SQL. So we'll just do const data equals await SQL. We'll add in the backticks, and then let's just select star from topic. And then we will return data.rows. And that will be the data, which is the query result. And let's go ahead and go back to the page, and we will import that here. Import get topics. And then here we'll do topics equals await get topics. And we'll see that that is a query result row. And let's actually just create a type topic row. ID number. We should, in theory, reuse all these types that we're creating, but just for the sake of this, we won't. Name, string, and we want created at date, updated at, also date. Whoops. And we'll basically just cast it to that. That way we can then here topics.map. We'll map through all these. And we will do topic index. And then we will just return a topic card with the key as the index. And then we'll pass in everything. So ID will be topic.id. And then name will be topic.name. Updated at, first we'll do created at actually. Created at topic.created at topic.updated at. Boom, there we go. So now if we go back to our app and we go to /topics, hopefully we don't get any error. We do get an error by marking it use server. Okay, got it. So we're actually going to be using a client, right? We're using a client side component, which is Toast, in the client action. Oh, what is happening? The client action helper function here, And so what we need to do is on our create form, we actually need to just mark this as use client, and we'll just do that. So there we go. We have a way to create a topic. Let's go ahead and test it. Test topic, create, and boom, we got it. So we got a success message here. And then we have the ID, the name of it, when it was created, and when it was updated. And we could get more granular with the formatting of this state, but I think it's fine for now. Let's create a new one. Boom, there we go. And we have 1 and 2. So perfect. Let's just, for the sake of this, go in here and let's just, in this div, just make this a div. And we'll just add this class in, just so it looks a little bit cleaner. So we have some space in between them. Great. So what we've done now with topics is we've created them and then we have read them, right? And so now what we need to do is actually create a way that we can edit each one of these. And the way we're going to do that is we're going to first create a new route where someone can click an edit button, and then it will take them to a unique page that was just to that, which has a form to edit the topic. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll do that by going into the topic card, and we will just import a button. Actually, let's just import a link. No, we'll import the button as well. And then we'll add let's move this and then put this in the, in the footer. We'll add a link component. It's going to wrap this, and it's going to say edit href. We'll go to slash. Here we go. We actually are going to make this dynamic. So basically we're going to go slash topics slash, and we want the ID of the topic, which we have access to because we passed it in as a prop. And then we're going to say edit. And now if we go back to the page, we'll see edit. We click on it. And right now we have a 404 because this doesn't actually exist yet, but we're going to create a dynamic route that has the ID passed in, and then edit so that we can edit to that specific topic. So let's go ahead and create that route. And we'll do that by creating a new file in here, and we'll do ID like that to create the dynamic route, edit /page.tsx. And then I am going to basically just copy what we have here, and then in here paste that. We're not going to use these. We're going to use get topics. We're going to create a different server action to fetch something. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get rid of all of this and this. We are going to fetch something in here, but we're going to fetch one specific topic. So let's go ahead and do that. We're going to essentially do the same thing as what we're doing here. So let's actually just copy this. But let's change the name to by ID. And then we will update this, and we'll say select star from topic where ID equals, and then we'll pass in the ID. So we will need the ID here, which is going to be a number. And then we can return the data.rows. I believe this should just be 1, right? And so we'll just do that. There's not going to be a lot of error handling in this, but it'll work for now. Now we will import the get topic by ID function, and we'll use it in here. Const topic equals await get topic by ID. What we need access to in here is the ID of the specific topic. And essentially the way we're going to do that is through the params object, the params prop in Next.js. And so we're basically, what we're going to do is we're going to pass in params, and then we'll say the type of it. It's an object with an ID of type. In this case, it's a number, and then we will pass in the ID here, params.id. And then let's just log the topic, and we'll comment that out, and then we will comment that out for now. Perfect. Refresh that, go here, click edit, and then we will look at our logs. Great. So we are logging out that specific topic that we're selecting. And that's exactly what we want to do. So now we can move on to creating the form to edit the actual topic. So I'm just going to copy all of this, and inside of topics, just create a new file, and it's going to be called edit form. Great, we'll change a few things here. And what we're actually going to be passing in here is the ID, which is type number. And the reason why we're just passing in the ID is because, no, sorry, we're also going to be passing in the name, which is of type string. And the reason why we're going to be doing that is because in here, we're going to add a default value, if I can type it, of name. Because when they go here, we want them to see the value that they've already inputted for the name. And then we'll say edit topic name, edit your topic. Perfect. And then we are going to be creating a new action that's going to be updating the topic. And so let's go ahead and do that. We're just going to do export async function. Let's call it update topic. And then the way we're going to be doing that is we are also going to be getting form data. And so basically we can just use this. So we'll just use this form data, just like that. But the difference here is that we're actually going to be needing an ID, right, for the topic so that we can edit it. And so the way we're going to be doing that is we're actually going to be binding the ID to the function. And so we're going to pass in the ID here, and we'll be able to bind the ID to the function in our form code. So we can parse that and get that. And then what we can do is we can use the update command in SQL. So we'll do await SQL, and it'll be update topic. Gonna put this on a new line so it's a little easier to read. And we're going to set the name equal to the new value of name, which is that. And then we're also going to set edited, not edited, I'm gonna keep saying edited, updated at to default of now. And then we're going to do that where the ID is equal to the ID that we're passing in, just like that. So we're going to update the topic, we're going to set the name, and we're going to set updated at to these values, the name, the new name that we're passing in, and then the now function, which is just going to be the current time. And then we're going to set the ID to, or we're going to say where the ID equals the ID that we're going to bind to this function. And so the way we're going to do that is in here, we're going to, let's see, do we have edit form? Great, we have edit form. Let's import the edit form. Import edit form. And then we will here do edit form. And then we get topic by ID. Perfect. We will have the ID, and then we'll have the name from this topic.name. And right now, topic is that's query result row. Let's just do as topic row. We'll just cast that to that for now so that we can know the type of it. Perfect. And then inside of edit form, we're going to actually import update topic, and then we're going to do update topic with ID is equal to update topic dot bind. And I have to look back at the syntax for this again. I can't remember if it is null first or the ID first. Let me check really fast. Okay, it's null. And then we will do const update equals create client action, and we'll pass in update topic with ID. And of course, we forgot to do a try catch here. So let me just copy this catch, and then we'll wrap this in a try catch. Perfect. Now we don't have that error anymore there. We'll say update, and then we should be good. But what we'll do is we will, in our code here, we will, let's go ahead and revalidate path of topics. And then outside of the try catch, we're going to redirect to the topics page, just so that when it's updated, it will redirect. That was weird. Favicon didn't show for a second. It will redirect to the topic so we can see all of them and see the updated, right? So now let's test it. We click edit on the test topic. Perfect. This is a test topic. If you saw, we have a typo, first of all, but if we refresh, it'll show the topic that is pulling in. This is a test topic. We'll create it. Well, I guess we updated it, and then now you can see it. This is a test topic. Perfect. If we want to edit this one, we'll do that. We updated it, and then you can see that it's updated, and we get the toast notification, which is great. And so there we go. We now have most of the CRUD operations for the topics. Now let's actually do delete. So we're going to add a delete button, and let's do it as a, let's see what the best way to do it. Let me close these out. I'm just gonna close this out so it's a little cleaner. So we have this, we have the edit form, the create form, and then we have where we are pulling in all of our topics. I think let's just do it this way. Let's add a button in the footer, and the variant it'll be is destructive. We'll say delete. And then what we'll do is we'll actually just create a form here, and we'll make this type submit. And then we can just delete this. Let's create a new component. We need to import button. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a new action in our topics, and it will be export async function, delete topic, and we're actually just going to pass in an ID on this one, which will be kind of nice. And we will go ahead and wrap it in a try catch. And let's just grab that, try, await SQL. And what we're going to do inside of this is we're going to use the delete command. And so I believe it's just delete from topic where ID is equal to the ID that we're passing in. And this will delete that specific topic that we pass in here. And then, yeah, let's do revalidate path topics. And we're not needing to redirect or anything because we're going to add this to the topic card, which is on the /topics route, which will delete it and then just show it there. So let's go ahead and add this into the button. So what we need to do is pass in the ID to the component because we're going to use it to bind to the server action. Delete topic. And we're going to use client here because we want to be able to use a toast notification. And then we're going to add create client action to here too. Okay, now inside of here, let's do const delete topic with ID is equal to delete topic dot bind, and we're going to do the same thing we did in here. We're going to bind the ID to the action, just like that. So now this ID is on here, and we can use it inside of the as a function parameter. And so we will, I can find where I was now, create a new client action, which is just going to wrap this delete topic with ID, and then looks like it didn't like us using that for some reason, so we'll just call it delete action. And then boom, we have the delete button. And so now let's go ahead and import delete button here, and then we will use it down here. Delete button. It's going to scream at us still because it's going to want an ID to be passed in, which we'll do like that. Now, if we go here, we'll see that we have them. Let's just add some gap to these buttons. Now, if I click delete, it took a second, but we have success. New topic. Boom, you can see that it's 3, right? It's maintaining that auto increment ID. We have the new topic, we can edit it. New topic number 3. It's updated, and then we can actually delete it just like that. So now we have all CRUD actions for our topic model just here in this topics folder. or file, I guess I should say, in the data folder. What I really like about this method is that you can see easily what each action is doing. It's kind of similar to like controller actions in a more traditional MVC framework, which I actually really like. And then you can just import them and use them in your UI, which is really cool. But that's great. So we did that. So now what we need to do next is we need to create notes given a topic. And so we will do that now. So what I think we'll do is I think we'll add a button on the topic that says add notes. And then what we'll do is we'll click add notes, and then it will take us to a new route, which is like topic / the ID / notes. And then that's where we'll be able to see the notes that we have associated with the topic. So let's go ahead and start by adding a button to the topic card. So we'll go into here and we will just add it here. It's not going to be the prettiest, but we'll add it. This button though, we'll use a different variant. Let's just use outline and we'll just say add note. And then the URL that we want to go to is topic / the ID / notes. And then if we go back here, we'll see add note. We'll click on it, but we get a 404 because this route doesn't exist. So let's go and do that. Do that by creating a new page with an ID, and it will be notes / page.tsx. Great. And then, whoops, I created a folder. We'll delete that and we'll do that over again. Inside of the ID, create a new file, notes.page.tsx. And then we have this page where we can, let's just base it off of this one, really simple. We will be able to see, ideally, all of our notes. So we'll delete all of this. And here we'll just say, for now, H1, this is where your notes will be for the given topic. Great. Add note. Perfect. So your notes will be for the given topic. And let's actually change this a little bit. What we're going to do is notes for topic. And then here we're going to grab the params, just like we did here. And then what we can do is actually put this here. So we can do params dot ID. So we have notes for topic 1, and then notes for topic 2, or topic 4, excuse me. And then here we'll have another form for creating notes. So this is going to get kind of messy with the components, but we're just going to add a create form here. And we're going to go to our other create form, which is in topics. I'm actually just going to copy it and we'll paste it into here. So we'll need to change this, of course, but we'll do create a note. And then let's actually pass in an ID, which will be the ID of the topic. So let's actually specify that so it's a little easier here. Topic ID is going to be type number because we're using auto increment as our primary key. Is declared, but another red. What did I do wrong? Oh, here we go. Boom. Boom. There we go. So for topic ID, a note. So let's look back at our schema. For each note, we have a title and content. Great. So here, let's just keep this and we'll call it title. Title, placeholder will be title of note. Great. Let's copy this, bring it down, and then we want content. Content of note. But instead of input, let's just use text area, which we'll import from there. And then I like to do this on my text areas. I like to add the class resize none. And then we'll just keep that as create. So now on the page where we're creating, here we go. We want to add the create form. And we'll actually pass in the ID. If you remember, it's going to be called topic ID. And it will just be params ID. And then let's import that. So we'll import the create form. Cannot find create form, but it's right here. Export function create form. That was weird. Okay. Great. Boom, boom, boom. So now what we need to do is we need to make it so that we're able to actually create it. So we need to do that by going to, not that one, this one. So let's actually just copy over the code for creating a topic, and we'll change it according to our needs for a note. So we will have a new schema, which will be a notes schema. Let's do note schema, and we're going to do z.object, and we're going to have the title, which is a z.string, and then we're going to also have a content, also z.string. We'll import z from Zod. We'll change this to note schema, and we don't want this. We want title and content. And then we'll do that by doing title content. Of course, we need to import SQL. And revalidate path. And we're going to insert into note. Let's actually bind the topic ID to this. Topic ID, let's type number and form data. So we're going to insert into note. We're going to insert content. Well, first title, content, created updated at, values title, content, and we're actually going to also insert topic ID. And what this is going to do is going to tie back this note to the model. And we will do, for revalidate path, we need to make sure that it is the path within the specific dynamic route. And so what we'll do is we'll actually use a different way of doing that. And I need to look back at the Next.js docs for it. But first we're going to import get error message so that we get rid of that error. So let's go and look at that revalidate path. So let's do this. We're going to essentially use the revalidate page path using this. So we'll do this, but we want to do topics, and let's see where we are. We want to do this page, topics, ID, notes. And ideally, this should work to revalidate and show it. Great, so now we have the create topic. Now let's go to our create form. And this is on notes, perfect. So we will do import create note. Did I name that the wrong thing? I don't think I changed the name. Create note. Import create note. And then we will get rid of this one. Create note. But first we need to do const create note with topic ID equals create note dot bind. And I always forget. Are we doing null first? Yeah, we do null first. Null topic ID. And then we'll pass this in to there. And then that should work. But first, like we needed on the last one, we need to get all of the notes. So we'll do export async function get notes by topic ID though, because we want to show just the ones for this topic ID. Just a number. And we'll do data equals await SQL. So we're going to do const data equals await SQL, and we're going to select star from note where topic ID is equal to topic ID. And then we will return data.rows. Great. And then in our create form, we will have actually here, so we're passing in create form, we want to use this. So we will do import get notes by topic ID. Get notes by topic ID. params.id. And then let's just create a note row type, which is going to have title, string, content, string, topic ID. I think it's actually going to be like this, topic ID, a number, created at date, updated at date. Perfect. And then we should probably create another component. So I'm just going to do that really fast and then speed through. Okay, so I created a note card component that we will use here. And then we will add it here. So we're going to move through the notes, dot map, note index. For each one, we will return a note card. And we need to pass in the ID, which is going to be note.id. Looks like we're missing the ID there. And then we will have the title, note.title, and so on. just like that. So now if we go here, we won't have any notes for it, but if we do a new note, and create, we now have the new note with the title and then all of the content. And then now we'll have to create an edit route for it. So we'll do that. We will go into here, notes, ID, edit, page.tsx, and then we'll basically repeat the same step that we did earlier. So I'm just going to go ahead and do all of that. Okay, so I went ahead and created that. Now I'm going to create a function to get the note topic by its ID. So we'll do this. Copy it from topics, and we'll say get note by ID, and we'll just change this to select everything from note where the ID equals that, and then we'll return it. Now inside of our notes edit, we should grab all the data and then pass it in, and let's test it out. We'll refresh that. We'll click edit for this note, and then we'll see all the content. Now if let's test it out by saying test content and then update it. It was a success. However, we need to change. Oh, interesting. Did we create a new node? What we need to do is actually create the function to update a note. And we will change this by saying we will update these values. And so we'll do it in a similar way that we did to here, where we say update oops, let's just align all those. We'll set the title to the title that we pass in. We'll set content equal to the content that we pass in, where the ID equals the ID, which we will have here. Perfect. And then we will revalidate the path there, and we will actually redirect to, let's see, it looks like we might have to bind the topic ID as well so that we can redirect to the correct page, which is /topic/topic ID /notes. And redirect looks like it's not imported. Yeah, not the correct one at least. Redirect from next navigation. Oh my goodness. Redirect. Perfect. There we go. Now, I think what we'll need to do is in our edit form here, looks like we don't have the topic ID, so we'll need to pass that in. And again, we're doing this so that we can use it. Oh, that's update topic. Where are we? Update, no. Okay, so first we're going to pass an ID and then the topic ID. So we will do that. ID, topic ID. And are we not able to bind two things? Maybe not. Well, I guess we won't do that then. We will just refresh. And then the user themselves can go back. We'll do that for now. Just keep things a little simpler. So let's refresh that. So we're going to edit this. Test. Oh, and did I need to update this? We're not going to redirect, and we should be good. Test, update it, success. Now if we go back to just the notes, looks like it maybe didn't update. Let's test it again. Success. Notes. Yeah, it looks like it's not updating. Let's see what's happening. Okay, so I took a break for a little while and then just came back to this code and then realized what the issue was. The issue was that in the update note, I had actually had it as update topic. So that was part of the reason why it wasn't working. And then another reason was in the edit form itself, instead of calling update note, I was calling create note. So that was also causing issues. So just those two simple things, just fixed them and it looks like it's working. I can show you that right now. So we'll go to the notes. We don't have any notes right now, so I'll say new note, and we'll just create one. I just created it, and if we click edit and then change the content, then you can see that it changed, and we have the toast message. And then I actually just went ahead and added a delete button. And it's literally the same exact code, except just changed out the action that we're calling. So delete note instead of delete topic. And then just like the other one, I created a function to delete the note with delete from note where ID equals ID. One other thing to note here, I mentioned that I was going to try to bind the topic ID to here so that when you updated the note and it redirected back to that given route, the respective route. And then we ran into the issue of binding to, I can't remember if you can bind multiple things to a function. I'll have to check out the notes, the docs for that. But as I was fixing this, it occurred to me that I could do it a lot simpler way. And that is simply returning, using the returning keyword in SQL. So we can specify when we update the note, what data we want to return. So in this case, I said I want to return the ID, which really isn't necessary, but it's just there, just in case we want it, but returning the ID of the note that we updated, as well as the topic ID of the note that we created, that we updated. So then in this, I'm initializing this topic ID and just setting it to 0 up here outside of the try catch, because we cannot call redirect inside of a try catch in a server action that's in the Next.js docs. So I created this variable, set it to 0, and then after we update the note, setting the topic ID to the inserted or the updated notes topic ID, revalidating the path, and then checking if the topic ID does not equal 0, then we will redirect back to the note that we're on, or the topic that we're on, and show all the notes for it. So that's what that's doing, and that allows us to click edit, and then change the name of the note or the title of it, update it, and then just take us right back to her. So yeah, I went ahead and updated that. This video has gone on so far way longer than I had anticipated so far. I didn't mean to make it this long. So I think with that, I'm actually going to not go over the comment part of it. I think that for the viewer, it'd be kind of a fun thing to try on their own. There's a few ways you could do it. You could create a different route, right? So you could create like a notes route and then have them select the note and then see the comments associated with it. Or you could keep kind of keep the hierarchy and go here and then have like a note and then, or an option to view the note by itself. If you click on the note, then it'll have a form to create a comment on that specific note. And you can just keep going with the dynamic routes. One thing that I didn't really mention earlier is I changed this dynamic route to be node ID instead of just ID, because if these are nested, we can access all of the dynamic route IDs through the params that are being passed in as a prop to the React page component. And so basically, you need to make these unique. So we have ID, node ID, and then you could do comment ID as the next one if you wanted to follow the same conventions. And you'll get to these like nested routes. Ideally, I should probably take these components out and then put them into the components folder. We could create a folder for each of the database models, or we could create just one folder and then dump them all in there. But since they have the same names, we should probably create like a folder for each model and then refactor to put those in each respective folder. But that is basically the application. I will post the code for it. And then coming up next, I think that I'll create a video definitely on creating safe server actions with Next.js Action, which is an awesome library that I've been using lately that I've been really enjoying. And basically it will just create type safe actions and we'll have full stack type safety using Zod, which is awesome. And so that'll change a little bit of the way that we're doing these server actions, how we're writing them, but it's well worth it. And I think it's a great developer experience. So tune in for that. And thanks for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe if you feel so inclined.